Hey guys, so I just wanted to check in. I haven't been on here in a while because I haven't been feeling great, but I've actually started doing bloodletting, and so I just wanted to show some of the leeches that I've been working with through this process, and I just wanted to say it's really amazing and it works better than you think. Like the first couple of times you're like, this is crazy, like I'm fainting, but it really is really worth it, especially if you have cholera.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network, a fine network. It's Wednesday, April 26th, 2023. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this is for you.
Next to Tass, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey, yo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is, here we are. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Like the vid, come on, play your part, comment away, and subscribe. And we got a new merch alert for all you Nuggets fans out there, for all you Robert Pack fans, for all you LaFonso Ellis fans, for all you Dikembe Mutombo fans.
This one's for the Brian Stith heads out there.
Yeah, No Dunks advancing. We always advance, but the Nuggets also advanced last night. We'll get into that game and that series. And so we have a brand new No Dunks / Nuggets merch for you. And you go to nodunks.com for that. You can get it on a t-shirt. You can get it on a hoodie. That's fire.
It's nice to have a mountain on a shirt. I like it.
That's so nice. And look, if you're a Suns fan, we got old Suns merch for you too. We made it forever ago.
Yeah.
But we're not updating it because the Suns didn't really.
Go to nodunks.com for all of this.
Yeah, buddy.
It's cooler to have a nugget or a mountain on a shirt or a valley on a shirt. Mountain.
A mountain or a valley. If you wear them next
Probably
to each other and hug, it's like a yin yang.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
We got three
exactly what it
games to recap last night. We got a bunch of news, but we also had a wedgie, our first wedgie of the playoffs. Yeah, we had a couple in the play-in, but that's just the postseason. These are the playoffs, baby. Hashtag playoff mode, and it was Trae Young late in the game against the Celtics, sticking the very highly placed wedgie there.
Oh, yeah.
On that left-hand floater-like layup. So 55 wedgies. We needed it. Like I said, our first one here of the actual playoffs. And
30 seconds. 30 seconds on the clock, too. Key wedgie.
Especially then what happened after it. The jump ball. The Hawks have a brain fart. Okongwu's looking
Double
around
fart.
complaining about something, and Robert Williams gets the alley-oop on the other end. It looked like the wedgie maybe was going to win the Celtics the series.
That was like a 4-point swing on the wedgie.
Right.
Trae Young layup to Robert Williams dunk. But as we'll see, if you stick a wedgie, good things come.
Yeah, I think
good
that's
things
what
come
happened.
to those who wedge.
Ice Tray fed the wedgie gods, and they blessed him
Exactly right.
with the game winner. And man, what a shot from Ice Tray. Hits the deep three to lift the Hawks to the 119-117 win over the Celtics. Shocking a lot of us to give us a Game 6 back here in Atlanta. Bumping Janet Jackson from State Farm Arena. I guess she's here tonight. She was supposed to be there on Thursday night, but the Hawks got to play a Game 6 versus the Celtics, so Janet gets bumped to Friday night? Is that what they do?
Yes.
All right, there you go.
She's splitting it. Wednesday and Friday. She puts on a great show. Still sells out arenas.
No. Do you think
Now she gets a day of rest? Come on, she's going to be on fire on Friday.
I think she should be the halftime performance at the Hawks-Celtics game.
Yeah, exactly.
She's here.
We know she doesn't have plans for
Right.
Thursday night.
So, what a shot, though, and what an ending here from Trae Young, scoring the Hawks' last 14 points, including that 30-foot bomb, the dagger over Jaylen Brown.
Unexpected with the way it happened from the Hawks side and from the Celtics side. They were up 13 with 6 minutes to go. They could have easily put this thing away. And some old bad Celtics habits of getting into isolation, not moving that rock, settling for threes. Last 5:30 of this game, they only had 2 baskets in there from Rob Williams. So that's shocking in a game without DeJounte Murray, where they should be able to get to the hole. And they were. Tatum was 7 of 11 on his twos because he was able to get to the line, but they struggled in the last few minutes, and Trae absolutely made them pay. This is a Hawks trademark. let's get down and then let's bomb. And that's what they do at the end of games. And Trae is hot in fourth quarter. He scored 16 yesterday, 60 fourth quarter points now in the series. That's what he does. And yeah, he lined up one a couple minutes earlier that was deep, that missed. So I think he got warm for that that shot. Jaylen Brown, he was right out there. He was pretty freaking close to that ball. I mean, he got as stretched out as possible, and that was it. But the Celtics definitely let this thing go, and now they have fewer days rest if they move on to the second round. And Joel Embiid's waiting, baby. He's waiting. Injured Embiid gets 2 more days rest for those legs. His performance in Game 1 should be as good as Janet Jackson's on Friday night, because he should be feeling good. And Celtics fans have the right to be upset. Another flight, another 2 days lost of rest for them. But the Hawks got the recipe of Trae shooting well from 3. Celtics shot poorly from 3, and they didn't turn. The possession battle was absolutely even, so it worked out.
38 points, 13 assists for Trae Young. Bogdanovic had a great game, slotting into the starting lineup for DeJounte Murray, as you guys had thought would probably happen. You had a great game from John Collins.
Big John.
22 points. I mean, this was probably on the short list of one of his better games of the season. I don't know, top 10 probably when you look at all of his game logs.
He gave up that Rob dunk, though. He didn't get back on that wild jump ball.
After the jump ball, I thought him and Okongwu were both. Okongwu was literally going like this, looking around, wondering what the hell was going on. And you thought it felt like that was the game there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the Celtics, they made some boneheaded fouls, really. I mean, that Marcus Smart one with 16 seconds to go.
Yeah.
That's just Marcus Smart trying to do a little too much. He's like, I'm going to poke this out. I'm going to get the game-saving steal. He's done it before, but he got his hand on it, and then, it goes the other side, and he just he takes out Trae Young at the legs. The official's standing right there. They're going to call that, 99 times out of 100. So that was just it's a little too much, man.
Yeah.
Slow down a bit. Let's just play some defense. But, they did themselves no favors, and now they got to go to Atlanta and try and win Game 6. They might. I'm not going to go to the game. Every time I go, the Hawks lose. Game 2 in Boston. Obviously, the last game here in Atlanta, so I will avoid this one. But yeah, what did you think of Trae Young here, the Hawks' performance, and then the Celtics sort of blowing it?
That's why I'm still Team Trae. I know he was just named the most overrated player in the Athletics Anonymous Player Poll, but like ESPN's Tim McMahon always says, he's got the cojones factor.
He does.
Great shot from Trae Young. Kind of surprised Jaylen Brown is what Jaylen made it sound like in the post-game press conference, saying he didn't need a 3. He only needed 1. You're not necessarily expecting Trae Young to pull from 30 feet with a couple of seconds left on the clock, but he was ready to make it, and in such a good rhythm that's a Trae Young makeable shot. He's been on fire the last 3 games, 32-9 in the Game 3 win, 35-15, though padded those numbers a little bit, I thought, at the end of Game 4. And then last night, 38-13. He showed up when the Hawks absolutely needed him to, and then the bad Celtics that we've seen more so last season showed up when the Celtics did not want him to. 4 turnovers for Boston in the first 3 quarters of this game, 4 turnovers the last 4 minutes, and even their players were basically saying, specifically, these were bonehead plays. The foul by Smart, you could see Jaylen Brown saying, why would you foul there? Yeah. Just bad stuff. You live by the smart, you die by the smart. He was awesome down the stretch in Game 4 for Boston, but he's going to have games like this as well, too. And you just hope to survive it. Unfortunately for the Celtics, they were not able to. Kind of weird to me, though. It seemed like they went away from Jaylen Brown in the fourth quarter. The guy was cooking, 35 points. He hit a 3 that put Boston up 13 with 6 minutes left. Took 2 shots after that, had 1 turnover, and it was just kind of like trying to get to the end of the game by having Tatum bring it up. He's throwing lazy passes over the top. Trae Young was playing great defense in this game. He was really involved in the passing lane, but they should have just kept rolling with Jaylen Brown. The guy was cooking, and the Hawks did not have an answer for him all night long, but then it turned into Smart and Tatum down the stretch. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of strange.
Yeah, a lot of Celtics fans too saying, why is even Smart playing so many more minutes than a guy like, let's say, Derek White, who's very positive in this game, +9, Marcus Smart -12, and we've seen what Derek White's done all season long, especially even here in the playoffs, and that's a fair criticism, I think, of Joe Mazzulla. I get it, the idea of sticking with the vet there in Smart. He's likely going to make a big player here, but not in this one, because he also had that, he got called for an offensive foul, like a moving screen or whatever. He threw sort of a shoulder with like 150 to go. And, he's also flopping around like crazy out there. He did that a couple times. Like, this was a game where, you probably could have went a different direction and maybe should have. And that's why Celtics fans are like, Jesus, what are we doing here? Like, I thought we learned some lessons with this team. But no, because they've done this before, especially in last year's postseason.
Maybe they got it out of their system in the first round here for them. But similar stuff happened last year. They got to the NBA final where Marcus Smart made some mistakes. It happened. So you can look at it as a glass half full. But
because you have Brogdon even to go to, or, along with White. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can move off of Smart in some situations.
Totally.
Right? But yeah, we'll go to Game 6. Any feel on this one? Is anybody going? You guys gonna try and get down there? Some standing room only tickets? What are you doing?
It's a great question. I already RSVP'd in to play pickup basketball on Thursday night.
Okay.
So I don't know. If there's an announcement that the Hawks are bringing Zaza Pachulia to Game 6, might have to be in attendance.
I was gonna ask you if the Hawks managed to pull out a Game 6 victory. Like, let's just say I don't think it's likely, but who knows? Who would be the Zaza Pachulia on this current Hawks roster to grab a mic and say, we're going to Game 7, baby?
John Collins? I don't know. Who's the biggest fan favorite on the Hawks right now? Because that was the thing. Like, we got a short. You should check it out on our YouTube page explaining how the whole Zaza thing went down. And basically, like, he went forehead to forehead with Kevin Garnett during this series. So he was kind of locked in as their enforcer. And, just the fan favorite who comes in deep off the bench and fires everybody up.
I think Okongwu, maybe.
Okongwu, yeah.
Right, if he just had a huge Game
call.
6, he is a fan favorite, obviously being a younger guy in the Hawks. Him grabbing the mic.
I love it. Sure.
Like, they have to. You have to.
They have to, or at least, I mean, they're going to play the speech, I would think. But yeah, why not call Zaza? What's he doing? He's free.
Yeah, probably. Should they also, okay, if Janet Jackson can't play at halftime of Game 6, just play Janet Jackson jams throughout the entire game. Sir Foster tickling the keys up there. Every song Janet Jackson. See what happens.
See what happens.
See what happens. Okay. Yeah, why not?
I'm terrified the Celtics are going to crush them by 30 in Game 6. Yeah. But I also thought they were going to win last night. And it looked like they were going to until they shit the bed. And Trae Young said, no, I have done this before, and I'm going down, shooting. Like, how many shots did the guy take in this game? And this is the other part, the coaching of the Celtics and Missoula. It's like, yeah, he did pull up deep. Yeah, they only needed 2. But also, anybody but this guy who's just been going on an insane run here, like, maybe do what we saw the Warriors do, obviously, with De'Aaron Fox, and just run a body at him and let a Bogdanovich beat you. Let a John Collins beat you. Let somebody else try and do it. But he pulled up from deep. I mean, that's Curry level deep.
33 shots for his 38 points.
Wow.
I think if there's anything positive for the Celtics to take from this is, the deep shots, the 3 balls. It's what the old guys say, and in this instance, I think it's true. If the 3 ain't falling, especially against this Hawks team, you can drive it. I know the Hawks were doing their part as much as they possibly could be on the boards, but the Celtics could score. I mean, the Celtics can score when they get into the lane. So maybe that's a good side for them in the weeks ahead. If they advance, that they just stop taking threes when they ain't falling, especially when they have an advantage. But
I mean, Tatum 1 of 10 from 3 in this game.
And 7-11 on 2. So it was pretty clear where the game was going for him, but he decided, nah. And Jaylen Brown was having a monster. It's true. He was awesome.
He was cooking.
I did love this note from John Hollinger at The Athletic. If there's one thing we know about the Hawks, it's that all roads lead to 500. So a win in Game 6 and a loss in Game 7 would finish their season record at 45-45. With only 48 hours in the last 3 months spent more than one game on either side of 500. There was 2 days where they were more than one game above or below 500. So maybe they are set up here to win Game 6. It is written, yeah. I guess
Congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks forcing a Game 7. Nothing easy.
Oh my God. Wild stuff.
One other note, as the Hawks were making their comeback in the fourth quarter, the Celtics were obviously turning the ball over quite a bit. You had a bit of a DR DeRozan scenario. You could hear a little kid on the broadcast Clearly a Boston fan screaming things such as, "Stop giving the ball away!"
I thought it was a woman screaming that.
It seemed like a child to me, but I don't know. I don't know exactly who it was. Maybe it was a woman, because this coming from a child is a bit interesting. Get off your knees! You're blowing the game!
Yeah, I think it was a woman. There was also like "You're one of the worst refs ever." You could hear it. It was picking up this woman who must have been behind Gus Johnson and Greg Anthony, like a row or two behind or something.
One fan should be mic'd up per game. It's fair. It's very funny to hear.
I wouldn't be surprised if a kid said, "Get off your knees, you're blowing the game."
Kids these days, man.
Okay, let us know in the stream team. I was 100%.
You go to an arena.
Kid or woman?
Oh man, I was talking to Rod Benson on Twitter about it.
I'm sure.
thought
No,
it was a
you're
woman.
probably right. But if you go to a game, you hear stuff like that. Kids pick up everything. Kids repeat stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you think the mom was saying it under her breath and the kid was yelling?
That's what kids do. You gotta watch your tone. Watch your tone in front of kids.
Any other thoughts on Hawks Celtics? Do you think they can extend the series and give us a Game 7, baby, or nah?
No,
They hit 19 threes. I guess it helps their chances. They hit a lot
Well,
last night.
I said 6 before the series, so I'll go with 6 now. I don't know how we got
Look
here.
smart.
This was a wild. I thought it was done in 5. DeJounte Murray comes back. I mean, the Celtics have been up when they want to be up, it feels like. Other than that, the Game 3, that was the Hawks' best win. I'll take the Celtics.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know which Janet Jackson performance is going to be best, Wednesday or Friday. I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, I assume Boston will be the favorite for Game 6, but we said yesterday, looking at how the Hawks can pull an upset, it's got to be the Celtics shooting under 40% from 3. They were 31 last night. They're never going to stop taking them. That's the thing, is that Mazzulla wants them to play this three-point heavy style. It's very high variance, but that's why you can get up huge and then blow a lead as well. So another poor shooting night. Trae Young has kind of clearly figured out the Celtics defense right now. He's putting up 30 and 15 every single night. So
DeJounte Murray is back, which I
Maybe
had
that's good.
forgotten until
Yep.
Ziggy said here in the stream team.
he's been one of the best. He's been the best Hawk, probably. I don't know. Trae Young's been very, very good, but the pair of them won them Game 3, trading shots down the stretch. Trae won them Game 5. They could do it again, I suppose, in Game 6, but their backs are against the wall. That's good news for the Hawks.
Yeah, it's a good point. And the stream team seems to be siding with you guys. A lot of votes for kid over what
Many
I
votes
believe
for
was
kid.
a woman. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that tape. All right, let's keep it going here. Devin Booker scores 47 to lead the Suns past the Clippers. They win the series in 5. Douchebag sweep.
Yeah.
Caught me by surprise.
Yep.
I got to be honest. The douchebag sweep, for those that don't know, you give Game 1, and then you win 4 in a row because you're a real douche. And that's what they did. The opposite of the gentleman's sweep is what we're getting at here, of course,
Precisely.
where you win 3 in a row, like the Nuggets did, give the other team Game 4, and then win Game 5 because you're a gentleman. You give them a little bit of a chance. But douchebag sweep, Devin Booker, a spiritual game and third quarter. That was amazing what he did there in the third quarter. The 25-point third quarter, 47 overall, like I said. He averaged 37, 5, and 6 on 60, 47, and 86 shooting in this series.
That's good.
I think he gets overlooked still. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. We're applauding it. People will talk about it a little bit, but it doesn't seem when he does these that it gets the fanfare that like maybe a Butler gets or other players, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
they win, and it's a disappointing series because of the whole Kawhi injury and Paul George not even playing. Like, don't get me wrong, it's going to be more of a series, but Suns just outscored them.
They did. Yes, we're looking forward here to a Nuggets-Suns series where they try and guard those guys straight up, because in this Clippers series, they were trying to get the ball out of Kevin Durant's hands over and over and over again, and Kevin Durant did a good job of allowing Devin Booker to cook. And Devin Booker was ridiculous. He just took over. He was, I think, we said it earlier in this series. He's definitely overlooked because all the conversations are about Kevin Durant when you talk about the Phoenix Suns because of what he's accomplished. But Devin Booker was having his best season before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He was going to be first team All-NBA with a bullet. But then he got injured.
Yeah.
And so he has been ridiculously phenomenal. Yeah, just finding his groove. I don't want to talk about the next series, but I want to talk about the next series. No, we'll preview that on Friday before they get going on Saturday, as they both finish the job in 5 games. It's just hard to guard both those guys. Simple as that. It's just simple basketball. He was on fire.
They were down, at half. I mean, they had given up a ton of points, the Suns were. And then in that third quarter, just like from the start of it, he was starting to attack, obviously getting to his spots. He chased down like an offensive rebound, falling out of bounds, saves it in, runs to the corner, giving it back to him, splashes the 3. It was like he was making hustle plays in addition to then. Once he hit heat check mode, I think there are a few players that are more enjoyable to watch when they're just like in the damn zone. It is Kobe-like in that sense where he just brings it up and pulls up. He's like, no, this is going in. 10 of 11 in the quarter, Trae. They almost gave it all back at the end. Good fight here from the Clippers, down their 2 superstars, to make it a game, to make it like a one-possession game there late. But yeah,
that's why Booker's, what he's doing in this series is being overlooked a little. The 2 guys who would be guarding him aren't playing.
Yeah.
So they're beating a short-handed team, but they're beating them pretty well. Yeah, I mean, the Suns really played 1 quarter in this game. They played that third quarter. Booker outscored LA 25-24, and the rest of the Suns outscored LA 25-24 in the same quarter. A 50-point quarter in the playoffs.
God.
That's major. If you're a pessimist, you'd say the Suns needed 47 from Devin Booker, 31 from Kevin Durant to barely beat this Clippers team without Kawhi and Paul George, a 3 of 18 from Westbrook, and a 1 of 4 from Gordon. They got to get major production from their top 4, but they're able to do it because Kevin Durant can pile up 31 points like an afterthought. It's like, how's he even scoring? There's just random broken plays. He's scoring in transition. When they get the ball out of Booker's hands, finally, Kevin Durant is there to pick up the slack as well. But these 2 can score on literally anybody. It's going to get tougher, I think, going forward. The Suns or the Nuggets are not necessarily the greatest defensive team, but at least they'll be fully stocked for their matchup. But yeah, Booker was on fire. The one for me when I knew that the game was going to be over, despite the Clippers' comeback here, was like he got that little rocket pass and just had the fall away, falling to the left baseline. That was an insane shot. It's just like, okay, what are you supposed to do? He was taking the shots that were open, and then the shots that weren't open, he was hitting those ones as well. 10 for 11 in the quarter. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was Warriors-like to me, the way they just turned it on. They're down at half, and they're playing with pace, too. That was the exciting part for me. They're moving it really quickly. You think of this team maybe plot it up and just find their mid-range shots, but they're playing really, really quickly. And, yeah, if you want to go glass half full for the Suns, Kevin Durant has not found his flow, even though he shot well in this game. He started poorly and turned it on. He still hasn't found his flow quite yet because they're doubling him. But that will change, I think, in the next series. They're going to play him straight up, I imagine, with Aaron Gordon. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that quarter, that 50-point quarter, is so Warriors-like to me. Pace literally smacked them in 1 quarter, and that was the ball game. They were able to keep it close, the Clippers were, with a Suns 25-point quarter. They went from 50 to 25 in the fourth. And the thinness of the bench and all that played a part. But the bigger part was Devin Booker and Kevin Durant just being on the floor together.
Clippers had chances in this series, even with the Kawhi injury and even missing Paul George. They stole game 1. They took home court advantage right away, and that was Kawhi playing in that. His return to the postseason looked incredible. They had a great free throw advantage in game 2. Obviously didn't pull it out in the end. They got combined 72 points from Norman Powell and Westbrook in that game 3 at home. That was without Kawhi. And then even game 5 last night, 4th game of the series where they had a double-digit lead. I mean, they were up. Then they were down a lot, and then they were back into it. But they fought hard. We'll get into the Clippers and the Wolves and sort of their next moves and what they need to address in the offseason, what they could possibly look in terms of dealing players and stuff like that. We'll get to that a little bit later in this show. But rough night for Westbrook after the dominant couple of games before that. You said it there, 3 of 18. He had a bad one in game 1, but they won that one.
He had a great 3 for 19 game.
Yeah, and he just completely buffed a layup late. Like, that was a game, man. There was he was left-hand layup.
He buffed it.
Yeah, he buffed it hard, man.
Yeah, he buffed a 3-pointer, down 3.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not really expecting Westbrook to knock that one down, but we've seen him make a random 3 here and there in the past before, but yeah, I mean, Westbrook kept him in these games during games 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to roll with them. Also, you don't really have many other choices, but 3 for 18. It's tough to overcome if you don't have Kawhi going to the line every time.
Crazy stat here. A little trivia for you guys. It's a tough one. From Statitudes, Westbrook, that horrific shooting night, 15 of his 18 shots he clanked. Second time in the series, he shot less than 20% on 15 or more field goals. Since the ABA-NBA merger, so we're going way back, but they're not that old.
Okay.
Only 2 other players have recorded multiple such games in a playoff series, right? 20% shooting or less on 15 or more field goal attempts, so a decent shot. John Starks in the 94 NBA Finals. Okay, I thought you might get that one. The next one, the only other one, I'll give you the year, 2001.
The year was 2001.
Yeah.
Glenn Robinson.
No, a better player.
Is it close to home?
Go on.
Is it Vince Carter?
It's not, but it's someone that had a great battle with Vince Carter.
Allen Iverson?
Allen Iverson in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, against the Bucks, right? I guess he had 2 stinkers in that one.
Stinky.
But they won. They obviously won in 7 games. And so did Starks lost in 7 games in the 94 Finals. But anyway, thanks, Statitudes, for that weird little stat. I love that stuff. Any other thoughts on that game? Nah.
No, we'll get to the what ifs with the Clippers and their future, and then we're going to preview, obviously, a round 2. Nuggies, Suns.
So that's going to be a fun-ass series, I think. Ooh, baby. Yeah, we'll do that on Friday, like Tess said. But last night's game, the final one, the Nuggets eliminated the Wolves 112-109 behind Jamal Murray. And the Joker. So it's tied at 104 with a minute to go. So the Wolves almost extended their season, almost gave us a game 6. But Jokic scored 2 big buckets down the stretch there. And he had a pretty damn good game, despite shooting like crap for him. 28 points, 17 boards, 12 assists. And then Jamal Murray with 35, including a circus shot. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. A circus shot so good that people are just sending around the still image of him facing away from the basket, holding the ball as he's close to the ground, wearing brown shoes, but flipped it up over his head.
What are those shoes?
I don't know.
Oh, you're the shoe man.
Yeah, I was doing my work trying to find out. Just Googling Jamal Murray brown shoes.
They literally look like something he'd wear to a pool, or they're so odd.
Gardening shoes, but he was balling. Yeah, they were totally working. I thought kind of a cool game for the Nuggets. Shout out to the Timberwolves. Started slow in this series, but figured things out. Basically starting in game 3 and actually made it entertaining as things went on.
Yep.
Jokic, only 2 for 9 in the fourth quarter. I didn't think he looked very good. Towns was playing pretty solid defense. Jokic was throwing up shots that he often makes. It looks sloppy a lot of the time when he's playing, but he just didn't seem to have a great rhythm, but came through with the offensive rebounds to really put the Nuggets over the edge here. I thought Michael Porter Jr. really struggled in this game, but had a couple of clutch moments. He had the driving dunk to get himself on track. There's that big offensive rebound by Aaron Gordon.
That was
it to
huge.
MPJ. That was a major shot as well. So shout out to MPJ sticking with it. Couldn't score through the first 3 quarters of this game, but he was hitting the glass and then made some shots when it really mattered. And then old brown shoes Murray, 35 points. Looking incredible. Just looking like we've seen from Jamal Murray in the playoffs before. Up and down season this year. He got in a rhythm eventually, but everybody knew for the Nuggets to be a real championship contender, he was going to have to get to bubble Murray levels in the playoffs. And as we've seen in this series, he can still get to that level pretty regularly.
I can't wait for Jamal Murray versus Devin Booker and the scoring explosions that's going to happen in that series. But yeah, what do you think of this game?
Well, yeah, the fourth quarter showed, I think, the Nuggets, if you want to be positive about them, how they can win ugly games. This was an ugly game for them. Yep. But offensive rebounds, they are massive, size-wise. Offensive rebounds for them also proved to be massive, but they are just a big team. And against a Suns team, you could see some of that happening. They won the offensive rebound battle 16-8. You mentioned the key ones there. They were just chucking up shots. Jokic just a cold night, 8 of 29 for him when all is said and done.
It's like one of his worst shooting nights ever in the league.
Yeah,
with that amount of attempts.
So I think they started slow in this game for a couple of reasons. I love Coach Michael Malone calling out his fan base after the game, knowing that they are the number one seed going forward here. Against the Suns, they're going to have home court. Against whoever in the Western Conference Final, if they get that far, they will have home court. But he said, our fans didn't show up. I looked up into the stands, and I asked what the hell is going on to my coaching staff. And there was a storm in the Denver area.
Ooh.
And it was an early start, a combination of a couple things. But yeah, it was a late start for the Nuggets team. They started so slowly in this game.
They did.
They were shooting so poorly, but they were still staying in it, and then just got the job done at the end. Jamal Murray said the trash talk got him going. Apparently, there was some trash talk from the Minnesota side. Could see that coming from Anthony Edwards or something like that. Sure. Yeah, a strange one, and Jokic. So he was smiling at the end of this game. Like, I guess just that shot just went in. A lot of those flippies that he usually go in, but finally that one that I saw ESPN call a dagger and one. I don't know how you call a dagger flip shot. It's just a flip shot doesn't feel like a dagger. It was technically, I guess it fits the definition. Dagger put an end to this team. Yeah. That's what it was for sure. But Jokic smiling as he put an odd flip like only Jokic can as a dagger. Very fitting. But yeah, it was an odd finish to this series. But it's an ugly win, and so you can be positive about that if you think Denver's going to go far.
And Anthony Edwards had not a great look, I wouldn't call it that, but a chance to tie the game. They even had an opportunity. It was sort of wild.
Online, baby.
And didn't miss by much. Yeah, it sort of just hit the back of the rim there. Otherwise, it was possibly going to overtime for the second game in a row. But he had 29 points, 13 of 27 shooting, 8 boards, 7 assists. And you did say, like, Towns, 26 and 11. That was one of his better games. Struggled from deep, though, 1 of 6. And Rudy, the box score looks good. I thought he played Jokic pretty well for a majority, but then there were, unfortunately, like, those possessions where they could have really used a defensive rebound.
Yeah.
And he sort of just got out-hustled to the ball, out-quick to the ball a couple times. That Aaron Gordon one on the side, I think that was Rudy involved in that one. And then definitely. That Jokic one, that was a bit of a backbreaker. But they've got a bunch of question marks surrounding this team. Missing a bunch of guys, though, of course. No, even Kyle Anderson not playing in this series from, games 4 onwards. Mm-hmm. No Naz Reid. No, who else am I forgetting?
Jaden
McDaniels. Yeah, man, they could have used some defenders like that and some a little more bench depth. But they did at least make it a little more entertaining as it went on. Let's take a break, because we will do Suns Nuggets on Friday. But when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the Timberwolves and the Clippers. And the question will be to you guys, which team is in a better position as a franchise moving forward into the offseason? We'll debate that, talk a whole bunch more. Don't go anywhere.
What an incredible weekend we had this last weekend, guys. We are right in the sweet spot here in Atlanta. Not too hot, not too humid, not too buggy. Mm-hmm. You just got the sun shining down. Maybe you got a cardigan draped over your shoulders in a jaunty way. That's right. It's perfect wine drinking weather.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting on that front stoop, dusk descending, swirling a perfectly chilled Pinot Grigio. Is that hints of peach I'm detecting? Great question. Let me consult the handy information card that came with my first leaf delivery. Now, the script is telling me how much I'm supposed to talk about how much I love sharing all this great first leaf wine with friends and family. Yeah, I do not do that. I hide it and I hoard it. It's too good. As America's most personalized wine company, First Leaf takes the guesswork out of wine selection. You just answer some quick questions about your likes and dislikes, and their experts will curate a selection of award-winning wines tailored to your taste, like refreshing rosés, fun sparkling wines, or spring-friendly reds. Not Shiraz, though. Get out of here, Shiraz. They sent me a Shiraz, and I unloaded that one. I did share that one.
Ooh.
David and Ray. They loved it. So, win-win.
Well, I hope you updated your first leaf, information.
I did.
No
I
Shiraz,
did.
please.
I threw it. I was like, Rachel likes Shiraz sometimes, but no.
Okay.
No, couldn't do it. You get to choose how often you receive your wine, and every selection is backed by First Leaf's 100% satisfaction guarantee. And because First Leaf cuts out the middleman, and works directly with some of the world's foremost wine producers. You get quality wines at prices much lower than you'd pay at the store. Plus, if you have any questions about your wines, like what to pair them with, First Leaf's certified wine concierge team is there to offer expert advice. I love sharing great wine with my friends and family. No, I don't. I like to hoard it all and keep it for myself, and I know you will too. So give First Leaf a try. Head over to tryfirstleaf.com/nodunks to sign up and save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. That's tryfirstleaf.com/nodunks to save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. Try firstleaf.com/nodunks.
All right, if you're joining us live on YouTube, thank you. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. We have some breaking news here from our guy Shams about 20 minutes ago, tweeting that Clippers star Kawhi Leonard has been diagnosed with a torn meniscus in his right knee. This guy obviously balled out in the first 2 games of that postseason matchup versus the Suns before that meniscus injury was revealed, and he was shut down by their medical staff. Yikes. This guy and the injuries that he has suffered here. Well, I was going to ask you who has a brighter future or who's in a better spot when it comes to the Clippers or Wolves. Might be leaning towards Minnesota with this. I guess we wait to find out. Surgery? Not? Is it just rehabilitation? I mean, that's like what? That's generally 6 to 8 weeks if you're not doing surgery, and if you do, it's 3 months and to 6 months or something like that. And This guy, who knows? Maybe even longer with his injury past.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we will hear in the coming couple of days or weeks whether or not he needs surgery, but the Clippers are done now, so there is enough time to get right for next season to at least be healthy and healed coming into next season. But, I mean, suffering another knee injury now means signing up for another year of load management for Kawhi Leonard, and just the question mark every single game of will he be on the floor, even if his knee is completely healed by the time next season starts.
Yeah, they took this year as slow as possible so this wouldn't happen. And then Paul George also got injured. Yes, it's becoming one of those stories, the big what ifs now. There's no question about it. Kawhi, after 2019 and a championship run where he carried a team, did have the bubble, and he was healthy for that. It's easy to forget, but then the 3 years since, with 2 years left on his contract, what's going to happen? What do the Clippers do as they go into the Intuit Dome, their new arena that should be opened next year sometime? It's got all those toilets, as Steve Ballmer told us. What do they want to do going forward? I think it's a fair question to ask. With Paul George and Kawhi Leonard signed through 2025, 2 full years, is it the old run it back? I guess you really have no choice. But it's especially going into a new arena. I bring that up because I think it kind of goes hand in hand. But it's such a feeling of pessimism, and how will you ever positively think, even a person like me, that I always think Kawhi is, well, especially the way they slow played it this year, that he'll somehow get one more run, but it's now 3 seasons in a row where he hasn't been able to finish the season.
Take load management and the slow play, as you call it, to the extreme, Ballmer. Shut down Kawhi Leonard and Paul George for the entire regular season, hand the keys to Russell Westbrook, say, hey man, get us into the playoffs as a 6 or 7 seed. We've seen you do it a million times before when you just run the show, put up 30-point triple doubles, and then just come back and try and give us maximum 28 games over a 2-month stretch. Can you do that? I wouldn't even bet on that, because every postseason these guys just unfortunately cannot stay on the floor, both of them, especially at the same time. But they're in a tough spot here, because you're right. What do they? Don't have any draft capital. All that's gone for the most part to the Thunder in the SGA Paul George trade.
They don't control their own pick until 2027.
Right. So, yeah, what would even be you say, hey, let's try and trade Kawhi Leonard. I mean, what would you even get in return? I mean, other teams are seeing what happens, seeing the load management, seeing the unfortunate knee injury after knee injury. It's like, you're not even going to get back, I don't think, all that much, unfortunately, because his body is failing him. So they're in a brutal spot here.
Probably more likely to be able to trade Paul George, I think.
Yes.
His injuries seem to be more like things that happen rather than chronic injuries that need to be maintained with Kawhi, but that's like choosing between a rock and a hard place. Like, do you want the guy who's slightly less injured but still always injured? Maybe so, but I mean, it feels like we're going to be looking at the same Clippers team because there's not a lot else they can do.
Yeah, it's either you trade both of them, to me, which is would be a very difficult move, or you run it back.
That is
which
so
is also very
depressing, right? I mean, it's just bad because you've already done this 3 times. I mean, it's like the definition of insanity.
Yeah, you're saying, you know what
4
they should do
times.
is load manage for an entire season. They did it. They already did it.
Wow.
Kawhi Leonard didn't play an entire season, and then didn't play the first half of this season,
Do it for
trying to
both
get
of them.
ready for the postseason. And then when he finally played 40 minutes, he got hurt again. Maybe they should just play every game, so they're used to playing games.
Yeah, maybe.
The
But
old
they
Stan
can't.
Van Gundy. Yeah, it's
Something's
They
weird
look good.
if you're resting this much, and then when you start playing again, you keep getting hurt. Same thing happened to Kevin Durant. Like, I don't know.
they play 52 games in the end, which probably is a bigger number than you'd think with all the headlines. But the Paul George value is probably higher, which sounds stranger. But yeah, for a guy who came back from that devastating injury way back and seems to be more resilient. So sad. Yeah, 2 more years under contract.
Yeah, right. And they're not probably going into the new arena next season, but
No.
24-25, I think, is where they have
That's right.
circled there to go take a bunch of shits in all the toilets in the Intuit Dome. You think someone will try and do that? Take a
I've
Try
actually
and
been
use every
considering
toilet.
this. I think a hilarious piece of content. I used every toilet in a Clippers during a Clippers game.
That would go viral.
That would go viral, absolutely. But the problem for me is
You'd be a
how do you
liar.
generate enough excrement to use every single toilet?
Yeah.
Peas or poos. Ones or twos. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we got time to think about it. We got a whole year to plan.
Yeah. We got to eat and hold it.
I don't know, playoff P, double P, P's and P's. There's something there.
What about the Timberwolves? Again, the question was going to be, until we learn this real Kawhi news here, and the severity of that injury, is which franchise is in a better position, Clips or Wolves. So I guess it is Wolves probably by default, but
They at least play. And it's part of it. The Clippers are moving into their 30s at least, even despite Karl Anthony Towns not looking like a number 1 guy anymore. At least you have Anthony Edwards doing some record-breaking type stuff in terms of these fake records, guys getting to these playoff marks under 22 years of age. So you've got a number 1.
yeah.
So that's with a bullet. So you've got to be excited about that. Although the cupboard is bare in terms of draft capital, like the Clippers. They gave it all away for Rudy. So scary stuff.
The Wolves' president of basketball operations, Tim Connolly, his name is being linked a lot to that vacancy in Washington, so who knows what happens there. But whether he stays or goes, the major decision here is what are we doing with this Towns Gobert front court? Did we see enough of a sample size where we're like, oh, this isn't all that great? It's a bit hit and miss. Or did you not, and you still hold out hope with Ant as your number 1 guy, and these 2 guys somehow making it work with all the complementary pieces around it, and you can believe in that, possibly with a new coach. I don't know with Chris Finch or not, but or have you seen enough? Like, what's your opinion on that, TK? You're in the front office. Are you like, no, we didn't? It wasn't a lot. Let's go at the start of the season with these, our 3 guys that we've obviously invested a lot in, or is it like, no, let's trade high as possible on a guy like Karl Anthony Towns, let's say?
I don't think they've seen enough to move on from the experiment. Only 29 games played this season for Karl Anthony Towns. Then he came back for the playoffs after a calf injury, so a little slow getting up to speed. There were some good moments for Cat. I thought, in particular, in Game 5, he finally put his head down and just started going to the rim. I imagine, for me, I've seen enough. I don't necessarily think it's going to work. I think
agree.
the stretch of the season when the Wolves were playing their best was when Karl Anthony Towns was out and they were playing kind of a more modern look with Rudy Gobert is they're rolling big shooters and athletes alongside Anthony Edwards, and then Edwards going to the next level, becoming an all-star, 25-point per game scorer. That looks like the right way that the Wolves should be playing. You can recoup some of those draft assets if you do trade Towns, but I imagine that they're going to want to take a look at it and see just exactly what it looks like with everybody healthy. That means that Towns needs to stay healthy and be healthy at the start of next season. I think he was coming off COVID at the beginning of this year, so a slow start as well. But they owe it to themselves to at least take a look at it, see that it doesn't work, maybe see what Chris Finch can do, because I'm with you, Skeets. I think he's probably on one of the hotter seats in the league after the way this season went. And then maybe things change at the trade deadline next year. I don't think that this will be the team till the end of Karl Anthony Towns' contract, to the end of Rudy Gobert's contract. But at the start of next season, I could see the big three still being there.
Yeah, I totally think they're going to be there. Towns is signed through 2028, a long time from now. He's got a huge contract. And if you even thought about trading him, the value would be good, but they'd hope it'd be better later on, I think, in the contract. I don't think this is the time to even think about it. I think they run it back for one more year and work around the edges with the roster. So at least Anthony Edwards has stepped into that number one role. If they have a start of a season next year where Karl Anthony Towns is healthy, maybe he knows. And it's very clear that he is in the number 2 spot. But yeah, the fit with Rudy Gobert is definitely a fair question as to how far they can go with the pieces of Jaden McDaniels and others, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, which is a nice slip into the Mike Conley deal there, and others. But yeah, very fair questions. Karl Anthony Towns has to be better. I mean, he's literally going to be paid $58. I think it might be even 60 in his last year. It's 58 and 26-27. It's a big number. So when Anthony Edwards gets his max deal, I know it's easy to just say trade that guy. But what are you getting back? Like what? I mean,
you might be getting back players more on the age timeline of an Anthony Edwards and stuff like that to really build. Again, you're getting off of this problem of having to try and figure out Gobert and Cat playing together. So whatever these new pieces that are coming in, maybe some more draft capital that you obviously gave up a ton in the Rudy Gobert trade. I think they should be active. I think a team would definitely still be able to talk themselves into Karl Anthony Towns being like a missing piece, a second or third guy to the right squad. And I'm with Trae. I don't think whether it's Chris Finch or not, I just don't think this is going to win you a bunch of playoff series. And I'm not even sure Cat is built to win a bunch of playoff series, if I'm being honest. So I'm a little worried too of the run it back scenario. Fine. I don't want Anthony Edwards to sour. I don't want him to be like, what the hell? This guy doesn't have the dog in him or whatever. What am I doing here? What are we doing? That would be my only a real reservation of okay, let's just see what they can do at the start of next season. You've got it. We've basically seen this guy. He can lead a team. He's going to need a lot of help around him. He's still super, super young. He still makes mistakes, but you just have a lot more faith in Anthony Edwards being the cornerstone of your team than maybe ever even Cat has showed you, especially when it comes to playoff series and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's clear who the number one option is. I think Cat knows too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's positive. He's just got to play better.
Man, Cat's become the Wiggins. It's weird.
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins was there, and I was like, well, clearly it's become Karl Anthony Towns. I think Andrew Wiggins is fine with him being the number 1 guy. And now it is completely flipped. Mm-hmm. Too many smiles.
We'll see. We'll see who's even making that decision. I see, I guess it was Rap Stallion saying, it would be pretty wild if Tim Connolly makes that Rudy Gobert deal and then leaves.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Which is, appearing to be one of the worst trades over the last little while.
It's like when I had the Turbo team over to install a toilet for me. Came in, ruined my toilet, put in one with a fart hole, and just left.
Yeah. Jumped on my couch.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
We'll
see.
And have part ownership of that toilet house. Tim Connolly has part ownership of the Timberwolves.
Weird.
Yeah, that is weird. If he was to leave,
it'd be pretty amazing if we find out that these thousands of toilets in the Intuit Dome are all joke fart hole toilets. Somebody screwed up in ordering.
Has this happened to you? You're building $1 billion arena, bragging about the toilets, and they all got tiny holes in them. Has this happened to you?
Oh, man.
Sometimes it feels like urinals are those tiny holes, toilets. Are holes in urinals getting smaller and smaller? I think so.
Let us know down below.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not only regular toilets where they have this record number of toilets. That includes urinals.
It's urinals. Okay.
Oh, they're included in the count.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. We had some more award news last night. The Magic forward Paolo Banchero was named the overwhelming winner of the NBA's Rookie of the Year award. Banchero dominated the voting. 98 of 100 first-place votes. 494 out of a possible 500 points. Followed in the voting by Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub, and Jazz center Walker Kessler. And Kessler actually got those remaining 2 first-place votes. No surprise here, I assume, from you guys, unless maybe you're a little shocked that Walker Kessler got 2 first-place votes and that he wasn't unanimous, Paolo? Or no? Or do you care?
Well, yeah. Well, there was the tally man. I forget his name. The person who has been tallying these votes, Chris Froze, who's been tallying it from the people who actually have votes, and they've come out and said on podcasts or written form, hey, I voted for this guy. So we knew that there was one vote.
Okay. From
Andy Larson of the Salt Lake Tribune, if I am correct, for Walker Kessler.
Who's the mysterious second vote?
Yeah, who knows? I would have loved if Andy Larson was the lone voter, because then he would be labeled as the guy who voted for his hometown player. Just like our Chuck Swirsky, when he was broadcaster for the Toronto Raptors, he gave Andrea Bargnani Rookie of the Year vote, and everybody else gave it to LaMarcus Aldridge. Right. In this instance, I guess Andy Larson got lucky, or maybe not.
Yeah, it's probably going to be another Utah person who voted for Walker Kessler.
Yeah, who was very impactful, obviously. But
it could be, but I don't know that for sure.
Truth.
But anyways, do you want to be the person? I mean, it's good in notoriety. I guess. Do you want to be the person who didn't give the first place vote to the guy who definitely deserved it? But yeah, Jalen Williams, a clear second.
Yeah.
When all is said and done. But Paolo Banchero, a clear first.
20 points per game, 7 boards, 4 assists. Third Magic player to win Rookie of the Year. Joining Shaq and Mike Miller, who I don't know if you guys saw the pregame show last night before the Hawks Celtics when they were giving the award to Paolo Banchero. They had a great photo of Mike Miller when he won it. You should see the lapels on the collared shirt Mike Miller was wearing. Like, it feels like a joke. It's like he won it in the 2000s, right? Mm-hmm. Early 2000s?
Yeah,
it was wild. It was insane, the size of the lapel. Like, it looks like the 70s. Like, it was a power look.
I gotta find this big old shirt.
Anyway, and Mike Miller is the agent of Paolo Banchero. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with Tess. I'm surprised not surprised that it wasn't unanimous for Paolo, because we knew about the Walker Kessler vote previously. But even when that was a minor scandal, Andy Larson was having to defend himself with screen assist numbers, with advanced statistic numbers. I was thinking, this doesn't matter. Jalen Williams is going to get a first place vote. Somebody's going to vote for him as Rookie of the Year, because he was so good in the second half of the season. Yeah. Obviously, the Thunder made it to the play-in tournament, won a game there, and he was a huge part of it. Also was solid through the first half of the season, just really turned it on as the year went on. I thought he would pick up at least a first-place vote, but Paolo was the guy, and to me, he kind of won Rookie of the Year in the very first game of the season when he had that sick dunk against the Pistons. It's like, well, that guy's going to win Rookie of the Year. He continued to play well throughout the season, lost his jump shot midway through, but still good enough to take home the trophy.
Scored at least 20 points 40 times and at least 30 points 6 times Banchero did. Yeah, he did have that really bad stretch there where he couldn't hit a 3 to save his life.
Single-digit percentages, I think, in February maybe.
It was rough, but obviously a well-deserved Rookie of the Year here. And I'm with you. I don't think it would have been, I don't even know if it's that big a deal. People will have forgotten about this by next week. But the Walker Kessler getting 2 first-place votes and then J-Dub getting none, like, if 90 went to Paolo and 5 went to Jalen and then a couple more to Walker Kessler, like first place, it would have been like, okay, that's fine. People are like, but it's because Not only is he not unanimous, but yeah, none going to J-Dub and the 2 going to the guy that finished third. And like, hold on. Especially one of them being obviously from the Salt Lake area. And we'll find out where that second one's from. But it's a little favoritism right there.
But Jalen Williams ended up finishing second
Yeah.
when all is said and done. So he is the runner-up.
And more importantly, Tim Bontemps, correct. 1, 2, 3, again. 6 for 6. They've nailed it. He knows it. But that means Jokic is going to win MVP if you go by this ESPN article that I keep alluding to. There's no way. There's just no possible way, right?
Simply no way.
Or is there?
Oh my God. I can't believe it. Anyway, also according to Tim Bontemps, the All-NBA, All-Defense, and All-Rookie teams, along with that MVP, which we still don't know, will be unveiled later this postseason. But why wait when it comes to the All-Rookie teams? Let's just name them.
I don't want to wait.
Let's just do it. The first one is so easy. The All-Rookie first team, it's Paolo, it's Jalen Williams, it's Walker Kessler, and then it's probably Keegan Murray and Benedict Mathurin. You can make a case for Jaden Ivey, for sure. But if he's not on the first team, then he's going to be obviously on the second team. But I'm going to go with Banchero, J-Dub, Kessler, Murray, and Mathurin. Any issues?
That's my top 5.
Okay, good.
I think-
That's
Good
an
deal.
easy top 5.
I know,
Okay.
Mathurin fell off in terms of percentages, and maybe that would sway people, but they're still good
Yeah.
when all is said and done. And yeah, he had a better year than Ivy's, which is what it comes down to. But I think Keegan Murray is kind of even somewhat overlooked in terms of the top 3 discussion. He should have been up there with Walker Kessler easily in the top 3. I think he had a phenomenal year.
Set the rookie record for most 3-pointers made in a season.
Yeah.
Shot over 40%. Obviously on a winning team too. Yeah, he's deserving of the first team.
All right.
All rookie. Second team, there are many more names to talk yourself into. I went with Jaden Ivey as a no-brainer. Jalen Duren, his teammate there, obviously looks like an athletic freak. Pick and roll finisher there. Go-getter type of rebounder. Jamari Smith Jr., I'm going to include. Now, I think there's going to be a lot of love for his teammate, Tari Eason, especially what he does defensively. Jabari Smith Jr., though, started very, very slow. I think at one point, maybe he was the worst shooter in the league. That started to tick up over the season, and as he got more comfortable with the NBA game and his position within that team, he had actually really good numbers over the final quarter of the season, the final 20 games or so. So I'm going to include him here. And what he's doing against the starters in the NBA. Tari Eason, the majority of his stuff coming against second units. So I'm going to go Jabari Smith Jr. I got Jeremy Sohan on the list. Now, he only played 56 games for the Spurs, but a really electric player, does a whole lot of everything. I mean, you talk about the hustle. You see the Rodman-esque, even Draymond-esque a little bit, the way he moves around out there and is always just diving for everything. So I'm going to include him. And then the last spot, I went with Andrew Nembhard. The numbers do not jump off the page at you, but that guy can run an offense. And for a rookie point guard, man, or rookie guard, he really takes care of the ball, has a really good assist turnover ratio and all that. So I'll put him there. So Ivy, Duren, Jabari Smith Jr., Sohan, and Nembhard. That's who I had on the second team. Anyone else you wanted to go to bat for on the all-rookie second team?
I would be saying Tari Eason.
Okay.
Over
Yep.
Jalen Duren. Duren I didn't necessarily consider. He was basically the bench big for the Pistons, and they just kept bringing in guys to play over him. Very, very weird choices from the Pistons. I thought he had a fine season. I thought Eason did a little bit more.
Sure.
What about this guys that I would include? Shaedon Sharpe. He scored a lot because there was a lot of shots to be had. AJ Griffin, I thought, was a solid player. I'm with you. Nembhard should be on the second team. And Christian Brown is another guy who I'd throw into a what about this guy conversation because he stayed in the rotation for the best team in the Western Conference the entire year. Rookies playing major roles. That's good to me.
Yep. The only other two, what about this guy's? Malachi Branham, 20th pick for the Spurs. Actually pretty solid. The more opportunity he got as the season went on for them, he played well. And love having a guy named Mark in the league. Mark Williams. He only played 43 games, so he's not going to make one of these all-rookie teams, but he averaged 12 and 10 in his 17 starts when they finally sort of went to him. Shot 64% as a big guy in the middle for the Hornets there. But you nailed all the other what about this guys.
Good guys.
Yeah.
You nailed them. There are 0 more what about this guys. I think they're all done.
Well, who's the deepest?
He already said Christian Brown.
Mark Williams is a pretty.
That's a deep
pretty
one.
deep.
He only played half the
Malachi
season.
Branham's a deep
Also
one. David
deep.
Roddy. You want to throw him into
Sure.
the
Let's
little
throw
guy?
David Roddy. Yeah, sure.
Feels like he's been around forever.
Final piece of news here. This is good news. ABC's broadcast of Game 4 between the Kings and Warriors recorded the largest audience for a first-round NBA playoff game in 21 years, Tass. ESPN announced this yesterday. The broadcast averaged 7.5 million viewers and peaked with 10.4 million viewers during that 6 p.m. Eastern quarter hour. Shout out to Nielsen. Most watched first-round game since April 2002 when we're talking Kobe and Shaq going against the Blazers. So this is great. We're always talking about ratings are down. Ratings suck.
Yeah, so what happened?
It's
People
good.
are watching TV again?
Well,
It
Kings
was
Warriors,
the sweet
baby.
spot. ABC game, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Eyeballs, baby.
Yeah.
Also, Steph Curry. People love Steph Curry. I saw this stat going around on Twitter yesterday. Since 2015, 27 NBA games have drawn over 14 million viewers, and Steph Curry was in all 27 of them. He is the most entertaining superstar in the league right now. For the past decade, I would say.
Sports Media Watch says the Kings-Warriors series accounts for 4 of the 10 largest NBA audiences this season. 3 Christmas games, couple Lakers-Grizzlies playoff games here, and then the Clippers-Suns game 1. So yeah, Kings-Warriors, must-watch television. People get it. And maybe that game 4 too. Yeah, great spot there on the weekend, but we had the Draymond Green suspension. Maybe that piques a little more interest with the casual fans and stuff like that. Ooh, the Warriors, they could be down 3-1. People love dynasties too.
Dynasties
to see
are
whether
good.
they can continue or falter. So this is good. Good news. Way to watch basketball. Keep doing it.
Yeah, the you said it's the first game that got this number in 21 years. The
First round.
highest
Yep.
in 21 years. Yeah, since 2002. The one that it passed was Warriors-Rockets, another Curry game in 2016.
Yeah.
Now, Sports Media Watch goes into detail and says that out-of-home viewing wasn't included back in 2016. It is now. So you're in your bar and stuff like that. So to be fair, Sports Media Watch doing a great job. To be fair, that number would be higher than this Kings-Warriors game. So TV watching still down. But we're getting technical here, but I'm just saying that that number would have been out-of-home viewing wasn't included. Nielsen couldn't measure that back in the 16s.
This guy's
back in the teens.
like who watches The Watchmen right now? Which Sports Media member watches the Sports Media Watch? I like it.
Yeah,
them on their toes.
they wrote it. They did a great job here, telling us that if you're watching in Whataburger in 2016, you weren't included in the ratings.
Can you
They have
watch a
TVs in
game
Whataburger?
Yeah, I don't think so. But they used to have TVs in Pizza. We used to see our guy Mo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it
Oh,
just
yeah.
got the in-house. So it was just the
Yeah.
wow.
In-house ratings.
Did we talk to somebody once at Pizza about being on that? Am I crazy?
We talked
that
to somebody
sound
at Rogers
Oh,
who would pipe us into Pizza.
piping hot pizza.
We could only dream of being on Pizza TV.
Yeah, Pizza, a large chain in Canada.
Yeah.
Just would broadcast in-house, promotional stuff. They didn't have cable. They
Would
just had
you
a TV
okay.
on there.
Would you rather
Closed circuit.
be airing on Pizza TV or gas stations? All right,
Stadium,
A little
baby.
video there. Or cabs. New York City cabs.
Oh, cabs in a
Cabs.
heartbeat.
Yeah, I think cabs
It's got
too.
it.
It's cabs, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the gas
What's her
station
name?
ones are the worst.
Maria
Menounos
Oh,
has it all.
she's everywhere.
blocked.
She's all over every gas station I'm at, every cab I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Pizza. She hasn't tapped
That's a
into
good
that.
call.
Yeah,
MM does PP.
MM giving some trivia to kids before Mario Party. Did you see that? Not Mario, the new Mario Bros. Movie. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I didn't have
did.
a Maria Menounos
She does all
question.
this type of stuff.
Yes, she does.
She must be just making a ton of cash. Of
course she is.
Yeah.
She's
She was like flirting
interstitial
with
queen.
wrestling there for a bit too. I don't know if she still does
Been in the
that.
game for years. She sits courtside at Celtics games a lot.
That's right. Still an
Yeah.
absolute bombshell.
Yeah.
How old is she at this point? I feel like she's been around for
She's got great Greek roots. That's why.
She's got the weirdest laugh of all time. Have you ever heard her laugh?
Oh, she's only 44. I thought she was older. Okay.
No, I've never heard her laugh.
Google Maria Menounos laugh.
Is it Kawhi-like?
No.
Okay.
I can't describe it. I literally can't describe it.
She might be having a baby. Congratulations.
Congrats, Maria.
All right,
Here's a question.
I hate the speakers at gas stations.
Yeah, exactly.
Always loud. Very
It's a
jarring.
great comment. It's not an ideal viewing experience. But apparently Maria Menounos is on screen at a gas station screens in more than 28,000 locations.
Jesus, man.
Are there more cabs in New York City than 28,000?
Yeah.
That's where you want to be then.
How many cabs?
28,000 cabs, really?
I don't know. It's
I mean,
a
they got
city that never
a
sleeps.
lot of people.
Oh, no. 14,000-ish
Okay.
taxis in New York City.
But you're in a cab way longer than pumping gas.
Yep.
So
That's a great
it's
call.
more of a captive audience.
Oh, yeah. I was in an Uber in Boston when I was there, and Beth, in the back seat, there was a screen, and she was basically doing trivia with our driver. So he has, inputted, his hobbies, and, and she's like, so, what's your favorite hobby? We were testing him, because he'd, put it in so long ago. He's like, going out. They're like, no, that's not what you said. Going out.
Wait, they're quizzing him on himself.
Yeah,
That's a
yes.
tough quiz,
Well,
man.
we were. I don't know. I wasn't in the back seat. I couldn't tell you what it looked like. But she was like, "No, that's not your hobby." And he's like, "Oh, yeah. Hold on, it's really generic. Traveling?" And we're like, "Yeah, it was traveling." Okay, let's take a final break. When we come back, Tass has tweet of the night, and we'll look ahead to tonight's 4 games on the NBA schedule. Don't go anywhere.
Oh yeah, our next partner is a product I use daily, Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is just 1 scoop in a cup of water for better gut health, more energy, and a stronger immune system. No more multivitamin pills for this guy. You know how happy that makes me, and no stanky pill taste either. Don't like that. Who knew vitamins tasted this good? It's true. I go water first, scoop second, which reduces powder in the air. I froth mine, and I've recently got a new frother. It's so powerful that it leaves a layer of foam at the top, though. It's more powerful than my previous frother. It's a different texture in the glass. I might go back to the old frother. I've used AG so long, I have frother preferences. So what is this stuff? With 1 delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. That's how I start my day, first thing in the morning. AG1 is a small micro habit with big benefits. It's one thing you can do every day to take great care of yourself. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 5-star reviews. It's kind of like No Dunks. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. Seems a little early for that, but anyway. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, back here in the Classic Factory, our guy Jerome chiming in our Slack channel that he once shot and edited a video that showed up on Tim Hortons TV. And that was a big deal. And then we were debating what's bigger, being on Tim Hortons TV or Pizza TV. And I think Jerome is right. I believe it is Tim Hortons TV.
Yeah.
Bigger
It's
credit.
not even close.
Tim Hortons made its way to the U.S. Many more locations, I assume.
Pizza, Ontario only? Is that possible?
I'm not sure. It has a bad rap too.
Yeah.
It's a garbage pizza.
Yeah.
I as a man who has eaten it many times, it is a piece of shit pizza. But
I'm not gonna.
in fact, did you see what they did recently? I don't know if it was one of these viral marketing jokes almost, but at Pizza, you can buy a little paint roller to take your sauce and roll it on your pizza
I
slice.
did see that. I thought that was an April Fool's thing.
I don't know, man.
Like literally a paint roller.
It's like a
Like,
tiny little
yeah.
pizza paint roller that you can take your ranch dressing or whatever and spread it evenly on your pizza. You're looking
crazy.
at it? Yeah, it looks
Nip roller. Disgusting. Pizza, though, they made a major mistake. They were never going to be able to cross over to the States.
Yeah, Little Caesars.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a big issue.
That'd be like somebody naming their pizza place Nobody Out Pizzas Us. Well, you're stuck.
Damn it!
They had the best jingle though, because everybody knows the phone number back in the day, 967-1111.
Call pizza.
Pizza. Hey, hey, hey.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
Hey, what
The
do they
name is Pizza.
That's a great name.
What do they
What
have
do
there,
they
Tess?
The thing is, everybody goes for the TV. Pizza sucks. TV's great, though.
All right, let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Podcast listeners, this isn't for you. It's definitely a visual tweet for the YouTubers, but I will explain as best I can. The man who was once on THTV, Black Dragon Rolled, Jerome Chang, tweeted this yesterday.
Oh, good
It's
one.
a great Hawks tweet, great meme execution. If you know the meme, there's a gentleman by a car who pretends that he's hurt. He's got a jacket on. He's bending over. So Jerome threw Trae Young's face on that man. Call an ambulance. And then he reveals he's got a gun. But not for me. Perfect scenario
this meme. It always makes me
with the
laugh.
Hawks Celtics. I felt like it was over for the Hawks. Felt like it was done in 5, but baby, we're going to 6. And the tweet is Hawks in 7.
Yeah. Jerome confident. We're getting a little Zaza Pachulia. We're going to Game 7, baby.
Yeah, baby. Tim Hortons are coming down here to Georgia. I'm going to ask some people if we can get that meme on THTV.
Are they really? They're coming all the way down here?
Oh yeah, it ain't no pizza chain. It's got legs. You'll be having Tim Biebs before you know it.
Oh, wow.
I don't think it's gonna work. It's gonna fail.
Think Tim Hortons is going to fail here in Georgia?
I think so. Yeah.
Why? Just why?
You know, you got your Dunkins, you got your
Sure.
Starbucks, and also
Oversaturated.
listen. I don't think Americans here in Atlanta, they don't like drive through. They don't go for the coffee. It's not like it's not cold here. It's not cold enough.
Yeah, Tim Hortons, though.
So you're saying they don't go to drive-thrus for coffee, and that's Tim Hortons' specialty.
I guess.
Well,
Yes.
see, Tim Hortons over the last, I don't know, decade at least, they used to just be coffees,
Yeah.
Timbits, donuts, of course, some breakfast items.
Crullers.
Right.
You can buy fucking everything at Tim
Yeah,
Hortons
that's
now.
true.
Yeah, they just got it.
Everything. They have every product now.
Well, they just need one. The iced cappuccino can get you down here. You just need a cold, sugary
true.
beverage. You're right, JD,
I
about
know,
the
but,
hot
like,
beverages, the cold sugaries. To
It's
get
just a
you.
hard sell getting people away from Dunkin's to go to Tim Hortons.
Do you think Dunkin's is the most popular down here?
No. I don't see it. That's the thing. I don't see a lot of
No.
Dunkin's or
No,
that kind
you
of
don't.
thing.
There seems to
anyways.
be an opening. There seems to be an opportunity.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm not going there unless THTV is on. Tim Hortons television. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I thought I was Canadian. I thought I would know that.
Yeah,
You
because they
haven't lived
redid
there.
a bunch of the stores, right? And they'd have suddenly there was a fireplace in a Tim Hortons, and
Right.
everybody could sit around and watch Tim Hortons
Yeah,
TV
right.
together.
Yeah,
know what I'm talking
because other coffee shops were taking over that,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
yeah.
trend. Yeah,
Coffee time.
coffee time.
Tim Hortons.
I think the biggest competitor for Tim Hortons is McDonald's in Canada, just for the breakfasts and stuff.
They need to bring Coffee Time down here.
No, they
That
don't.
piece of shit place where you can still smoke in it, I'm convinced.
That's a good
That
idea.
might fly down here. Get it out
Yeah.
in southern Georgia. It's
Smoky
coffee
donuts.
time.
There's nothing like a smoky sour cream glazed.
Smoked donuts.
All right. Great tweet of the night from our own guy, Jerome. Busy schedule tonight. 3 teams, the Knicks, the Lakers, and sort of inexplicably, the Miami Heat, have closeout opportunities right? They can wrap up their series on the road, all three of those teams. And then the nightcap is our first pivotal Game 5 of the playoffs. Warriors, Kings in Sacramento. It'll be fascinating to see how De'Aaron Fox plays with the little, splint there on his fractured finger. But yeah, 4 games on here tonight, Tess. It's a lot. And we have Survivor to watch somehow. That might be a tomorrow morning watch. But anyway, do you think of those first 3, any of them end? Knicks, Lakers, or Heat? Are they wrapping it up in 5?
I know nothing. I cannot predict a thing, but none of these series end tonight.
Whoa.
The Bucks ain't dying. No, I don't think the Cavs are dying either. The Grizzlies? Ooh, I can talk myself into them winning. But I can also talk myself into them losing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, LeBron and AD finally put their stamp offensively onto one of these games and really take over, because otherwise I think the Grizzlies, they've got home court pride. It's a very good home court team.
Toughest thing to do, man. Put a team away for good. To close that coffin door and throw the dirt on it. So
That's right.
Do you believe in any of those teams, being able to do it, to actually wrap up a series in 5?
I've got belief in all of these teams. Bucks, I'm expecting a huge Giannis game. His best game of the playoffs should be tonight. You got to hope that either the Chris Middleton Ferris wheel or the Drew Holiday Ferris wheel is on the up and up, because it was on the down and down in Game 4, unfortunately. I got a little faith in Cleveland as well. They were better, certainly, in the first 2 games playing in Cleveland. They were super tough in Game 2. They were not tough at all in Games 3 and 4. They need to get that Game 2 intensity back, and they need Donovan Mitchell to put the team on his back and really carry him to a victory. Memphis is the team I would have the least confidence in, just because they're the most banged up, I think. But we've seen Ja Morant have some pretty solid performances against the Lakers. We just saw a great Desmond Bane game. They just kind of need to put both of them together. And like you're saying, Tass, Memphis has been really good at home, and this is a must-win game against a hated opponent. So with the road team leading 3-1 in those 3 series, and we got a pivotal Game 5 tonight, could be a classic. Could be a classic Wednesday evening.
We're on a nice little 2-run stretch here of playoff basketball. Obviously, last night's games were all fairly close and some big performances, and then the one before that we had
Monday
the
was
Jimmy
big
Butler
time.
and that huge game. So yeah, hopefully it continues for 3 nights in a row. We'll be back here at 10 a.m. to talk about all of these games tonight and any of the NBA news. I was thinking last night that all 3 series would wrap up in 5 games, but obviously the Hawks said no. Sorry, Janet. We're gonna play one more here in Atlanta. So because I think all 3 are going to extend tonight, that means one of them is going to end. So who's going to go into the other team's barn and get it done? Is it the Knicks? Is it the Lakers, like you guys are saying, maybe the most likely? Or is it Miami Heat, man? I don't know. But I'll be watching. And then we got a Game 5 between the Warriors and Kings, which could feel like, whoever wins this, it is pivotal for a reason, could potentially go on to win the series. My God, can't wait. Join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Also, new No Bunts is up on the Athletic Baseball Show feed. A little film session.
You better believe it. We watched Facing Nolan Ryan's documentary that came out last year.
I used to love Nolan Ryan. Is it good?
It was good.
Okay, good. So you guys are talking about that. You, Joel, JD, Tassie. Also, I should have said this off the top, but look at this fire jersey on Tass Mellis. This
Bought a baseball
Toronto
jersey.
custom. Yeah.
You bought a Shiv Roy jersey or Shiv Roy shirt. Recently, I bought a baseball jersey. This is my first baseball jersey.
Never had a Paul
And
Molitor
that's a
back in the day?
custom too. You can't buy that in stores.
I just never got into baseball jerseys
Owning
as a
baseball
kid.
jersey?
It just never. I loved baseball. It's my first real love were the Blue Jays. I collected every card. I collected every sticker. But basketball jerseys were the jerseys.
Did you
And
struggle?
baseball jerseys,
Actually,
I just
You
didn't.
didn't like how they
I
felt?
don't want a button.
I was gonna say,
I'd
did you
rather.
struggle
I
with
had so many
buttons?
more hockey jerseys than I had. Like,
Interesting. I was gonna say, here's a theory. There were cheaper and more readily available NBA jerseys, and here in the States at least, NFL jerseys than baseball jerseys. Because they would have like the champion, like the cheap mesh. That
Baseball
looked
jerseys were
awesome.
high quality.
Baseball jerseys are more high quality.
Yeah.
Got to have some stitching on there.
Yeah.
To make it look legit. So maybe that's why. Because I'm with you. I had NFL jerseys when I was a kid, NBA jerseys, but not a lot of baseballs.
I
don't know.
Yeah,
incredibly, when I was like
Price
10 years
probably.
old, had an Atlanta Braves jersey.
I've seen a picture.
Which was
A gray
weird.
one.
Yeah. I mean, I was a huge Deion Sanders fan, so I guess that was the reason why I had it. Guys, go check out No Bunts. Check out No Buffs tomorrow. Enjoy Survivor if you're into that. And again, we'll be back here to break down all 4 of these games and series tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Yeah, I should probably be better at promoting stuff. No Bunts is on the Athletic Baseball Show feed weekly. Find it there. Also, Luke Samansky designed this jersey. He designed some incredible jerseys. Luke Design 91 on Instagram. Great store.
That is fire. Brace the day, people.